I took this photo in Japan of Bowser, and then I used it and made a little 3D model of it here that you can see. I want to scale this bigger, like much bigger, way bigger than the size of my printing bed. But when I took the image and made it into a 3D model, there were some issues. Because of how it was made using AI, it was hard to splice the model to make it bigger. It was hard to align all the pins and the sockets to do multiple prints on my 3D printer. But today that changes. We're going to be making the same exact print I did months ago, but bigger, much bigger. As always, I will have a link in the description below, but we are back on hi3d.ai. This is the website I used originally to create my 3D printed Bowser. And they have a new feature you can actually see on the left side. It is called beta. It's called split print. So when we're on here, we can choose character and we're going to hit select from assets, and you're going to see the Bowser that I have done in the past. And you can see some of the other ones I was playing around with. And now I can actually hit generate. And what's going to happen now is it's going to make Bowser, but it's going to be 3D printing ready. What that actually means is our model is going to be split into printable parts. We're going to be able to separate the head, the torso, the legs, the arms, and it's going to correct all the mesh automatically. It's going to make the assembly connectors. If needed, it'll make ball joints and just make the entire thing ready for slicing. And in case you're wondering, how do you make the 3D model to begin with that I inserted? If you go on the left, if you go to general, you can actually do image to 3D. You can also do multi-view to 3D. So if you have a front view, back view, I covered this in my prior video. You can also go to image, use one of the top tier image generation models, create something, generate something, type in your prompt, and then you can turn that into a 3D model. Again, this was really cool. I was able to 3D print it and it did work, but it took a little bit of tweaking. The mesh just wasn't ready for slicing, and now it will be. So now we have our Bowser and it's actually split into multiple parts. So on the right, you can actually see the model parts. So we can see the head, we can see the torso, the left arm, the right arm, and the right leg. And you can kind of see it's all split. If we want, we can actually hide any part. So if we want to say, okay, what does it look without the torso? We can quickly do that. And it did all this in one single click. So the entire model was split and separated for us, but it gets a lot cooler. So we can actually hit explode at the bottom and you can see what our Bowser looks like with all the parts kind of like out. So these are all the different printing parts we have. At the bottom as well, we have the ability to say, okay, what type of connector part do we want? So if we hit ball, it's going to actually generate the ball inside of our 3D print here. So it's going to actually generate the different parts with little connecting pieces now. So you can actually see the leg here. It generated this little ball piece and it's going to fit directly in to the bottom of our Bowser. And this isn't just cutting the model up, it's creating parts that can actually move into a printing workflow. They're watertight parts. They like snap together. And in like one single click, we can get connectors, ball joints, whatever we need to bring it all together. I also generated the dovetail version, which you can see here. Again, it makes it where it just all snaps together. So it's not just cutting the 3D model into pieces, it's doing it in a smart manner, which will actually work with your 3D printing workflow. So in one click, I got connectors, slot connectors, and ball joints, and whatever I need. And when you're ready and you want to print it, you have some options. So we can download it, and there's all these different file formats. We can also go to print, and we can send it directly to Bambu Studio or OrcaSlicer or whatever you are using. So I'm using Bambu, so let's do that. It's going to generate the file for us. It's going to literally ask to open up in Bambu Studio. We now have our Bowser in Bambu Studio. You can see we can spin around. It's the exact Bowser we just saw. But what's really cool now is I can scale this upwards and make it pretty much as big as I want, because I can take it and put it on different plates. So with this, I can just click the Bowser, and then in the top, I can click the split to objects, and it will literally just make them into different objects I can move around. So let's click split to objects. You're going to see what's going to happen. It's going to go through, and now each individual object is movable. So you can see I can move everything on the build plate. So this is good for multiple reasons. So the first one obviously being is that I can scale everything a little bigger than before, and this one didn't fully split, so don't worry. We can just hit split to objects again and check this out. Now it is all split up. So you can see here, now we have the ability to move all these down. So we're not building vertical up all the time. We can keep everything kind of flat, which is less support, we're going to save money. So you can see we have that as an option, but also we can also scale things and everything's just going to interconnect. So I'm just going to hold control and select everything. That's the whole entire Bowser. And what's really cool now is I can actually click the scale option and I can scale this upward. So I can make it much, much bigger if I want, because now it's much easier to put this on multiple build plates. So I want to make sure everything is the same exact size so it all snaps together identically, right? So there is my bottom build plate. We're going to add another plate. And now it's just literally as simple as taking all of our different pieces and bringing them to the other build plate. So now you can see we have 2 build plates with all of the different parts of Bowser that we can just send off in print. We have to enable support slice plate. We can then send the print to the 3D printer and it's going to get created for us. Full transparency, I did actually put this all on a single build plate to print. I'm going to show you what it looks like in just a second, but the reason why I did this is because I want to test it out. I have some fancy filament and I want to make sure it all looks good and snaps together perfectly. It's exactly what I'm looking for before I make a massive version of it. Something I have been considering is trying to make a life-size version of this 3D print. It would take probably a year to make, print, paint, and everything else. So if you want me to do that, let me know in the comments below. So we have all our different pieces and components here. You can see I have tried to clean them up a little bit. I just want to test this out. You can see what it looks like. Here's our base. What's really cool is these are all watertight, snap together pieces. So we just need to find our other leg first. Let's start with that. So we're going to put the foot in and it just literally snaps in. That is really cool. And now we have the body of our Bowser. And again, we can go and snap that in. And this is what we have so far. So you can see what it's starting to look like. So we have our Bowser. Again, this is amazing. It is truly all together. It's like one piece now. We're going to take Bowser's face. We're going to put that in now. And there it is. And lastly, his hands. And there's our finished product. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. I think if we were to scale this up life size with this fancy filament that shines depending on how the light is hitting it, you can kind of see the sparkle, cleaning it all up properly and everything. I think it'll look really cool. There is also an entire advanced control center where you can fine tune the connectors. So you can actually see at the bottom, advanced connector settings, and here you can adjust the size. So if you need a larger peg, a different connector direction, or adjust the fit tolerance for your 3D printer, you can do it all under the advanced control section. So you can actually see here, we have our ball connector. And then on the right, we can actually make adjustments. How big or small do we want it? We can adjust the assembly fit as well. And even the connection length. So you can make it super long or short. Still not enough options for you. You can even do the angle and the tilt. And then on the right, you have access to all the different connection points. So if we want to see any individual one, we can see what it looks like, or we can hit the link option and we have a lot more advanced settings. So what used to be a 3D character on your screen can now be turned into a 3D model, split into parts, easily printed separately, assembled, and the final result becomes a physical figurine, model toy, humanoid, whatever you're making, you can make it. I think High 3D is extremely powerful. So if you enjoy 3D printing, definitely check it out because you can basically turn whatever you want into actual 3D objects that you can send off and print. So for example, I've been playing around with a prompt, a photo of an alien that sits on a planet called Aurora, and build it into a ring, cartoon style with a white background. I generated this image here. And then I went back and I said, actually just remove the clouds and I have this image. So on High 3D, and I should have mentioned this, when you go to the split to print, if you select from assets, the way I got that asset under general, you can actually do image to 3D. So I have uploaded the image that I started with, and I want to show you what it actually looks like as a 3D printed model. So this looks really cool here, and I can actually split this again, make it ready for a 3D printer, print it out, and then I can paint it. And I don't even need to paint it actually. There's a new feature that is coming where you're going to allow, and then I can print it out and paint it. But wait, it gets even better because High 3D is working on the ability with colors, but it gets better because High 3D is working on multicolored prints. So it is extremely powerful because I literally just took a fun little generated image and I turned it into this really cool 3D model that I do plan to 3D print, paint, and give to my daughter. Love to know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe if you enjoy AI. I try to bring you a large range of AI tools, and it's completely free. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like on the video. It tells the algorithm you enjoy this type of content, you want to see more of it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow with another AI video.
Right there, AI tools, AI news, AI prompts you can use. It's all for free, just come and see at FRANKLINK.com, where you're meant to be.